All right, we're gonna start now. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum and a very good day to everyone. So my name is Hisham. You can just call me Hisham. I'm gonna be the host for today, and then I'm really excited to see all of you guys doing great now during pandemic. But I hope everyone is go through the healthy life. And then welcome to the Sellers 2020. I can't hear you clap, but we can clap.
Yeah.
All right. So before we start, I'm going to introduce our beloved speakers today. It's Mr. Ahmad Yudistira. Mr. Ahmad Yudistira is the academic advisor at English Today Indonesia and the director of studies from 2014 to 2017 that manage center's academic operation, help marketing and sales operation. Taught the student as well as mentoring, supervise, monitor, train, and recruit the teachers. So within 20 years of teaching experience, currently he is the head of academic recruitment and training, and also teaching business English, general English, English for specific purposes, customized in company trainings, IELTS, TOEIC, and TOEFL. So without further ado, I present to you guys from Jakarta, Indonesia, Mr. Ahmad Yudistira. Mr. Ahmad Yudistira, the Zoom is yours.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, then we should start the drums rolling, is that? Okay, so good afternoon, everybody. So my name is Ahmad Yudistira, but then don't call me Ahmad because I have another five Ahmads at my house. Okay, so just call me Yudi then. Okay, and then now I am in Jakarta, Indonesia, and then it's now it's 2:30 with a bit cloudy weather. Is that okay? Cloudy, but there is no meatballs over there. Okay, so what are we going to talk about today? Okay, as you know, it's talking about the rural online learning, something like that. Okay, so during this pandemic, I know that a lot of education, or even not only education, yeah, other sectors we have moved to online. Okay, and then one of them will be the education sectors. Okay, for big cities, it's not going to be a big problem because everything is well prepared. Okay, you've got all the infrastructures ready, and then also the people, the participants, they get used to all the internet connections, link access, and they have even tried different websites, for example. But for people in the rural areas, okay, they can have internet access, but with a very limited function, for example, because sometimes the internet goes on and off, okay, and then not to mention it's also quite interesting that they can only get good internet signal at a certain time in a day. So, for example, between 11 to 12, or maybe only in the afternoon. Okay, and then the rest of the time, they don't get any internet signal, but only like common SMS and phone calls, something like that. So that's what happened here. Okay, so I will share the screen. Okay, so this is what we're going to talk about today, enhancing online learning in the rural areas. Okay, and then for the background, because I am from Jakarta, Indonesia, and then Indonesia is a, let's say, big country from the left to the right, for example, and then in Jakarta, or especially in Java, everything is quite easy. But then if you go to different areas, let's say Sumatra or Kalimantan or Sulawesi or even in Papua, you will get very limited internet access. Okay, and then this is what we have been experiencing, for example. Okay, and then now when we talk about online learning, for example, okay, what does it take to make a successful program in this case? Okay, ah, okay, Hisham, I thought that we can have the first poll. Is that, can we launch our first poll then, Hisham? Or should I launch it? Yeah. Okay. So I will launch the first poll. Okay. So if you see the question here, okay, what is the biggest challenge when running an online class in rural areas? Okay. Okay, so I just launched the poll. Okay, you might have your answers there: A, B, C, D, E, F. Okay, A is teacher's readiness, participants' readiness, internet service, lack of motivation, different lifestyles, or ineffective program. What do you think? Okay, so far I've got like 75% people said that. Okay, internet service. Next one will be the participants' readiness. Okay, and then the next one, the third one will be lack of motivation. 16 voted, yeah. Okay, so this is the result. Hmm. So yes, you are right. Okay, so the biggest problem will be the internet service, but then yeah, let's see how we can overcome this problem later on. Yeah. And then also some of you mentioned about participants readiness. That is interesting. Okay, and then lack of motivation. Hmm. Yes, Chenor City. Okay, you have any questions? Because you raise your hands. Not yet. Okay, so we will have a question and answer sessions at the end. Yeah. Okay. Okay, so probably before we start this one here, maybe few of you would think that, let's say, can teachers' readiness be one of the possible causes, okay, if there is any ineffectiveness, okay? To be honest, I don't think so. I mean, because maybe because I'm also a teacher, I don't like when people blame the teachers also. Yeah. Okay, and then, well, I believe when the teachers are committed, when they are assigned to teach in rural areas, for example, they have done some, let's say, a bit of research. Okay, and then I believe they have checked how good the internet over there, what's the, let's say, the participants, okay, like their lifestyles. I think teachers, they would be ready, okay, because I know we don't want to humiliate ourselves, right? Okay, so put aside the teacher's readiness, but then the next point will be like, hey, Yudi, how about not having safety teacher, for example, because this is going to be online. Okay, I mean, at the beginning, actually, it used to be a big problem because not so many teachers are familiar with this, doing like Zoom online or maybe other platform. We've got like WebEx or others, but Zoom is the most popular. Okay, to be honest, in my company in English Today, we've also got some native teachers. Okay, and then when we started the, what is that, when the pandemic started, okay, probably March, April. Okay, then we have to shift to online learning. To be honest, a lot of native speakers also, they were reluctant to do it online. Okay, but I told them, okay, there's no way to get any class, okay, if you don't learn how to operate the Zoom. Okay, so well, they contact the IT people and then they learn one by one, and then finally they can even use the breakout rooms. I mean, for me, it's a great achievement. Finally, they can be more confident to do online learning, and then now I guess they don't want to go out from their apartments because they can do everything from their apartments. Okay, and then for the food, they just call the, over here they just call the Gojek, for example. Yeah, and then they can get the food. Okay, fine. So that's what happened actually. So maybe you also ask, Yudi, I don't know how to do this PowerPoint things or maybe online games, things like that. Come on, okay, don't be worried about that. Okay, we are not going to teach these people in big cities. Okay, they have these sophisticated games already, but in rural areas, okay, they will be very happy if just they can have the Zoom successfully actually. Okay, don't worry too much about not being a safety teacher. Okay, well, to be honest, I'm not that safety anyway. Okay, next one. So let's say why I can have this talk, for example. Well, our company English Today, we have been trusted with some programs for Indonesian government. Okay, so actually there are some online learnings actually organized by the government. Okay, and then there are two programs that we have been helping with the participants here. The first one is a pre-employment card program. If you can imagine, let's say if you just graduate from high school or you just get laid off, the government will give you some, let's say, some fund for you to join some trainings. At the beginning, it was an offline training, but after the pandemic, they switched that to online. The challenge will be this pre-employment card. This is for all the citizens coming from Sumatra all the way to Papua. If it is in the big cities, we don't have any problems. But turns out that many, they live in rural areas, small cities, even beach, mountainous area, in which that sometimes when we organize Zoom session, they would say, is it possible to do it after lunchtime? Why? I mean, maybe you need some lunch first before you join the class. Oh no, Pak, because the internet connection is better after 12 o'clock in our area. So that's the reason. Okay. Or maybe some of them like, can we do it in the evening? Like, yeah, if it is evening in your time, it means that it will be much later in other time. You know, we have this three different time. Okay. If it is like 7 o'clock in Jakarta, in Papua, it will be like already 9 o'clock in Papua, and then probably people will go to bed already. So yeah, we've got this kind of problem doing this pre-employment card. And then it's very interesting. And then the second one is English for Tour Guide program. Okay, this is even going to a more remote places. Okay, they can go even to islands actually, especially if people are in Raja Ampat in Papua, for example. If we want to have a Zoom session, so we have to inform them, let's say, even a week before. Why a week before? Because in their what is it? In their place, okay, in their island, they have to take a ship first. They have to take a boat first to the nearest biggest island, okay, so they can get a better internet connection. Okay, so that's the challenge for many of them actually. Yeah. Okay, and then for the tour guide, it's going to be the same problem. Okay, a lot of many people want to join the program, but then again, we have this limitation. Yeah. Okay. So what do we have next? Wait. So English Today, we have been doing this for like almost a year now. Yeah, starting March. Okay, so after some discussions and then probably a lot from experience, okay, we can share something like these points, okay. So these are the adversities, these are the challenges, these are the problems that arise when we want to do an online learning, especially for people in the rural areas. The first one is practicality, simplicity, adaptability, capability, and then infrastructures. Okay. Well, I just tried to wrap this idea actually. Now, if you can, I don't know, probably practicality. Anybody would like to say something about practicality? Maybe you can guess. Who wants to do it? Yes, please. What do you think about practicality? Anybody wants to try to answer or have your ideas? Feel free. Because this is also one challenge of doing online classes, right? It's always like one way interaction. Okay, to be honest, I don't feel comfortable doing this. I like a live class much better, so I can move around and then pet people. Is that okay? So but this is much better, okay, because I can see still some people having their screen. Okay, no problem with the screen if you cannot do it. Okay, so we'll discuss that one by one. Practicality, okay, not being practical, of course. Okay, simplicity is not that simple. Adaptability, it means that you have to adapt to things. Okay, capability, we'll talk about the teachers or the participants' capability to follow the program. Okay, and then infrastructure, it means that, okay, yes, you know, the internet connections. Okay, we'll go to this one one by one. Okay. Okay, so the first one, why online learning in rural areas is not effective? Okay, the first one is practicality. It's not practical. Okay, what does it mean? The first one, we'll have to talk about the goal of the program. Okay, when we go to a certain area, they must have a unique character. Okay, and then we cannot generalize that everybody will need the same, let's say in this case, English lessons. Yeah. When we talk about people in, let's say, remote areas in Bali, yeah, well, there's remote area also in Bali, but maybe they have much better chance to meet foreigners. But you can imagine if it is in Papua, for example, yeah, in certain area Raja Ampat, a lot of foreigners, but other areas, not many foreigners coming. Okay, so when we talk about the goal, okay, what do you want them to do? Okay, is it suitable for their needs? Okay, so we'll have to check their goal first. Okay, and then the second one, the duration. Okay, well, the same one like any other online classes. Okay, we'll have to make sure that it doesn't take a long time for a session. Okay, a lot of us will say that 1 hour will be quite long. Okay, because sometimes their internet connection going on and off. Okay, so make sure that you know. Well, I don't suggest that going for like 1.5 hour. Mostly we'll just do it for 1 hour because we are afraid that maybe okay we have internet problems, or maybe they don't also have this long time to look at the screen all the time, and then it's not practical. Why the approach? Okay, some people just say that hey, we can just send them this LMS link, okay, and then they can do everything from the link, for example. It might work, okay, but if you ask them to watch video and then they have to download the video, that's not going to be a good approach. Okay, remember they don't have a steady internet connection, so be careful with the approach as well. Okay, you just have to go with plan A and plan B, for example. This is in terms of practicality. Next one here. Okay, we go with the simplicity. Okay, with simplicity we can see that for example, clarity. What does it mean with clarity? Okay, you can imagine that when we do online learning here, okay, when I give a question, sometimes people can just ignore me, or they're like doing something else, okay, but actually they can hear that within like few seconds gap. But in rural areas, okay, the gap can be longer, so when you say something, you finish the instructions and then it's gone, and then after you just say excuse me, what did you say again and again? Okay, so clarity. Okay, it means that okay, make sure that your distance learning experience have a very clear instructions later on. That's the problem with clarity. Okay, simple structures will be needed for this one. Okay, and then also with the sources. When we talk about the sources, it means that again, what kind of link, what kind of media you are going to share with them. Okay, if you ask them to do, hey, you can write the activities in your Jamboard or uh, Google Docs, for example, it will work sometimes, but many times, okay, they cannot even access the your Google board or your Google Sheets or even your Google Docs, for example. Okay, so we have to find alternative how to, let's say, disseminate this teaching, or when you do your presentation, for example, maybe it's possible if you make it into a let's say a small file, and then you can send it beforehand. Yeah, that's one of the problem with simplicity. Okay, next we have the adaptability. Okay, again, the first one here is planning. UD, why does it have to do with planning when people have to adapt? Okay, no, it's you. You are the one who have to adapt. It means that your plan, okay, have to adapt with the situation. Okay, you cannot get the feedback right away because, like I shared before, sometimes we give the instructions now, okay, and then you can get the delay, and then the reply can be within minutes, okay, if you have something like an online Zoom. But what if, let's say, you just share the information, okay, you just share the instructions, okay, and then it may take them, like, say, maybe in the afternoon when they get the message, and then they will do it maybe the next day. So you can review their answer the next day after that again. Okay, so make sure that this adaptability your planning needs to be like well prepared. Okay, probably longer plan will be more suitable with this one. Okay, and then how are you going to execute this? Okay, are you going to ask them to use the, I don't know, the mobile phone, or they have to type a lot, in which then they have to use the computer, for example? Okay, we also have to take this into account when we talk about the planning. So the suggestion is like, okay, check the situations over there. If maybe many of them, they don't have computer or laptop, so we should try to make all the activities, okay, which can be done by the let's say mobile phone, for example. Yeah. Okay. The next one, we have the capability. The first one that comes into my mind is the participants' readiness. Okay, what does it mean by the participants' readiness? First, okay, do they know what program they are going to do? Okay, or maybe let's say, are they aware that they have to do something in the middle of the program? Maybe for the tour guide, it means that they have to go to the nearest tourist spot, for example. Okay, or maybe do they know that some sessions of our learning, maybe it will take in the evening sessions or maybe in the afternoon? Okay, yeah, because we cannot go online all the time, right? Okay, and then we must pick a certain time in which most participants will be able to join the sessions. Okay, that's participants' readiness. We'll have to check them. And then this is also interesting. Why I read down etiquettes? Okay, uh, not all of them, let's say, are familiar with Zoom or this kind of online learning. Okay, people can easily mute themselves, but many of them, they don't even know how to operate Zoom at the beginning, actually. Okay, and then when they go live, they're very happy because they can see their own face. But then, okay, we could hear that what happened behind them. Okay, either like, I don't know, maybe they are in the middle of this paddy fields, okay, in which it will be quite great, and you can hear these birds chirping, for example, or by the beach. Okay, but sometimes when they work, let's say nearby this forest, and then there's like a lot of people cutting the trees, and then you can hear the machine, for example. That's not going to be nice. Okay, and also sometimes they just want to dominate everything because they want to talk a lot. I know it's their chance, is that? But yeah, it's one of the etiquette that we have to share at the beginning. So make sure you have, let's say, a clear instruction from the very beginning, and then you share that first. Okay, so we have this pre-Zoom guidance, something like that. Okay, from the one that they have to download, setting up their account, okay, how to connect, because sometimes though we have informed them, okay, our Zoom session start at 7 o'clock in the evening. Oh, trust me, even by 5 or 6 o'clock, when you share the link, they'll really try to access that. Why can't I access that? Why can I? Okay, so there's a lot of problem with that. Okay, then we have to, again, we have to inform them, please wait. Okay, we will start at 7, something like that. Okay, so this is a kind of like etiquette. This, yeah, we have this with these people, actually. Yeah, and then we can understand this is in rural areas. We go with different kinds of education level as well. And then the last one with the problem will be the infrastructure. Okay, of course, the internet access. So you should know that, okay, yes, they can get internet access maybe at certain time. Okay, or maybe it works best if we do it early in the morning, because I don't know, maybe the signal is quite steady in the morning, or maybe in the evening. So you have to check that first. Okay, and then also with the internet access, okay, a lot of these rural people, they don't have any Wi-Fi, of course, right? So they rely on their mobile phone. Okay, and then make sure that your, let's say, video or your Zoom session, okay, is not a long one. Why? It will take a lot of their bandwidth. Okay, so their quota, they have to reload their quota again and again. Okay, and then they are not going to enjoy the lessons at all. Okay, so just watch out with that. Okay, and then with infrastructure also, this is related to the minimum requirements. Minimum requirements, it means that, okay, the kind of mobile phone they can work with, okay, or the computer, because sometimes when they go with the mobile phone, they think that, well, maybe the operating system is a bit old or they haven't updated the Zoom. So this kind of like technical problems, the teacher should be aware of this one also. Yeah, yeah. Somehow I think doing this, I can be like a technician in certain time because they ask about technical problems. Yeah. Lucky if I can answer that directly, but a lot of time I have to check with my IT team. Okay, hey, they cannot access that. What's the problem? Oh, this operating system, Mister. The operating system is quite old. Ah, okay, so I have to go back and then inform them. Okay, probably they have to borrow their friend's mobile phone finally. So it's possible. Yeah. Okay. Next. Of course, with all the adversities, with all the problems, okay, we are teachers. Okay, we are here to conquer. No, no, not to conquer. Okay, we are here to give some enlightenment. Okay, and then before we can enlighten other people's life, we have to do some enlightenment for ourselves also, how to overcome these problems. Okay, of course, so we have to turn the corner. Okay, and then let's see what we can do with this practicality, simplicity, adaptability, capability, and infrastructure. What should we do? Okay, probably I also have given some clues before. Now, with the practicality, okay. Okay, the first one is be thoughtful about designing course content. Organize course content intuitively. It means that, again, okay, remember talking about the goal, okay, you should know what kind of lessons you are going to teach, okay, what kind of syllabus will be effective for them, okay. I mean, if you are going to have like a very long syllabus, maybe it will tire them, okay, they will get bored, okay, or maybe they will not use it at all, okay. Short syllabus will work better, okay. Maybe within 4 sessions, okay, they should be able, let's say, just to introduce themselves and introduce other friends. Finish. They will be happy with that small achievement, okay. They need that, okay. And then ensure that your course has a coherent structure and that materials are well organized, okay. Sometimes when we do the zooms, okay, we click here and click there, for example, okay, it looks easy here, but for them it can be quite confusing, right? Especially with their, let's say, minimum or let's say limited internet access, okay. Make sure that if you can simplify things, okay, then you can just put them in one page. It will be much better for them, okay. And then put extra effort into ensuring that students understand what is expected of them. Yes, of course. So from the very beginning you can tell them, oh yeah, we are going to have this tour guide program, so by the end of the session, so by the end of this program, it is a long program actually. For a tour guide, it's like a 3 months program, okay. We communicate quite a lot with WhatsApp rather than the Zoom. With that 3 months period, we only have like 4 Zoom sessions, to be honest. The rest we communicate entirely by WhatsApp, because yeah, we know that it's difficult for them to get a steady connection for the Zoom. Yeah, okay. Then they should be able to, let's say, introduce their local spot, okay, or maybe just introduce one I don't know, a unique cuisine from their area. Yeah. So that's about practicality. Okay, let's go next. Okay. So remember, after practicality, what do you have next? This is the challenge of doing online learning actually. seems that a very long time, you are talking by yourself. Okay, though you can see people, okay, smiling, okay, but usually in the real classroom, okay, we can hear people giggling, okay. They can you can say, you can hear their voice, yeah, or things like that. Okay, at least you get feedback. But this one, okay, it's a bit hard. Okay. Well, the next one is about the simplicity. Okay, you have to turn everything into a simple activities. Okay, be familiar with the program environment. Program environment meaning that, okay, if you are teaching people, let's say living in nearby the beach, for example, what kind of let's say good time for them to do. Okay, maybe they are not a fisherman, for example. Okay, and then it's really important to make sure you preview your course as a student. I know that nowadays it's quite easy to set up your own LMS, learning management system, right? You put all your videos and your teaching over there, and then you just simply ask them, okay, can you click the link, and then you open this one, and then you can learn. And then when we meet, we check your comprehension. Okay, sometimes it's not as easy as that. Okay, put yourself into your, I mean, in your students' shoes. Okay, if you ask them to watch a lot of videos, okay, you also have to calculate, oh yeah, this, I guess 1 hour Zoom, okay, it will be like, I don't know, maybe 1 gigabytes. Okay, and then you can calculate how much money they spend just to go with 1 gigabyte, for example. If you ask them to watch maybe 15 minutes or even 30 minutes video, then you can also calculate. Okay, so try to have shorter ones. Okay, they like it better because they know that, oh yeah, this is only 5 minutes, and then they will download that. But if they check, oh, this is 30 minutes, okay, no way I will download this one here later on. Okay, so it's not going to be very successful later on. Yeah. And then the next one will be access to additional resources. Okay, so we are talking about how they can access our let's say program. Okay, I've mentioned the LMS. Okay, but maybe you should also have something like okay, a Google Drive will do the job, right? But sometimes they cannot access the Google Drive also. So maybe you should prepare some, let's say, PDF. Okay, maybe 1 or 2 pages of PDF. Okay, and then send it to them by WhatsApp, in which they can read after that. Okay, so we have additional resources. Okay, maybe you can give them a book also, fine. Okay, but make sure that the bandwidth, I mean the size, is not that big. Okay, that's about the simplicity. Let's go next. Okay, how about the adaptability? Okay, I know that some students, okay, well, remain responsive to students' problems. Okay, sometimes when we go with rural areas, well, they've got different activities. Okay, maybe they have to work, or they have to do something maybe in the field. Okay, or maybe you should also listen that, okay, I don't have enough quota to access this one here, so you should have this alternative also. Okay, oh yeah, if you cannot watch this video, maybe this is, you have like a PDF. Okay, this is a summary of what you can learn actually from the video. Okay, that's why we have to be flexible. Okay, be ready to adjust deadlines and grading policies. Okay, remember, it takes quite a long time actually. You don't get the response directly. So usually when we send the assignments maybe today, okay, you will give the, I don't know, deadline by the next 2 days, for example. Okay, or even the next week if it is quite difficult. Yeah. Also grading policies. Okay, don't be too strict. Okay, you have to send minimum 90-second video about you and the program. Okay, maybe they cannot send the 90 second video, so what? Maybe they only have like 30-second videos, that will be fine. Okay, but maybe they can send it like with 3 different videos, fine. Okay, so be ready to adjust deadlines, grading, okay, and then your requirements. Okay, and then also, yeah, be flexible to those who may work in louder environments. I've mentioned before. Okay, yes, maybe you can ask them to mute themselves. Okay, but sometimes you also want them to say something, right? Okay, so it can be quite tricky when they want to say something, but it's quite loud, for example, over there, the background. Okay, so try to find a way. Maybe okay, for you, Hisham. Okay, considering that it's quite loud over there. Okay, can you just record that and then send it to me by WhatsApp later on? Okay, so you should find ways to overcome these problems. Okay, just don't be too strict with the requirements. Okay, after the adaptability, we go next. Okay, so turning the corner, and then we'll talk about the capability. Understand your students' background. Okay, many of them, to be honest, okay, if it comes to the rural areas, and then maybe they haven't done any online learning before, so you have to brief them, let's say what they should do. There should be like a clear instruction at the beginning, like I told you at the beginning. Okay, how to install your Zoom. Okay, and then you do it maybe in the language, for example. Okay, send it to them first. Okay, or maybe what to do in a Zoom sessions. Okay, so the more information you share, okay, the better they are prepared. Okay, and then also you can do a lot of chats. For example, is it a good time to study? Maybe after lunch or at other times. Okay, so understand your students' background. I believe that teachers are very good at this. Okay, I know you can do it. Okay, well, okay, because we have been doing this before we start our class. Is that? But now you just have to do it online. Okay, and then empower the students prior to program commencement. Okay, well, again, a PDF brief. Okay, you can send them some messages before you start the real program, so people feel comfortable. They know what equipment they have to prepare. They know, oh yeah, we will study at this time, so they can go to the nearest hill and then get the internet signal, for example. Okay, so it can happen like that. Yeah. Okay, that's a capability. And then also with not only for the students' background, with the capability also. Well, later on I will share another story with this background. Yeah. Okay. Next. How about the infrastructure? Okay. When it comes to infrastructures, yeah, I know teachers, maybe we can't do much because it goes with all the companies and then the government, for example, right? Okay, but we can anticipate, okay? Anticipate limited internet access, okay? Make sure you pick the right time. Okay, you can have a chat first with them, okay? What time will be best? And then again, not a very long video or not a very long Zoom session, okay? And then search for alternative activities with less bandwidth. Okay, so here in the big cities, sometimes we can play online games. Okay, but with rural areas, I don't suggest we do that. Okay, for those who can get a good internet access, they will be very happy. But for those who have very limited, they will get jealous because hey, they can play the game, but I cannot. Okay, so they will be left behind. So have to be a bit sensitive also with these infrastructures. We cannot blame anybody, but yeah, just have to survive with whatever we have. That's for the infrastructure. Now, okay, actually, there is one other thing that we have to do just to make the program more successful. Okay, we're going to talk about the touch points. Okay, so this is where the, let's say, the power, the time to motivate your students. Okay, so you have to prepare these touch points. Okay, send regular whole class communication. So WhatsApp group is very useful nowadays. Okay, everybody can ask questions, they can joke in the group, but of course you have to give some instructions. Everything should be done in English, for example, and then don't post anything not related to the lessons. Okay. And then we can also talk about some students will be unresponsive. Okay, have a plan for reaching out to them. Okay, you can see that they attend the Zoom session. Okay, but maybe during the assignments, okay, they are not that active. Okay, so give them a call. Okay, send them WhatsApp individually. They will be very happy to hear your voice or even your greetings actually. Yeah. have a plan for reaching out to them. Okay, and then the last one, okay, this is important to be honest actually. Family plays important roles in keeping participants' motivations. In our case, all participants are adults. Okay, I can imagine that, let's say, even with these adults, okay, we need other people to motivate them. Sometimes they lost hope. For example, I mean, I just give up. I don't want to continue the program anymore. Why? I've got this problem, that problem. Okay, so usually we need to talk to their friends in the same area. Can you talk to Hisham? Okay, just say that, okay, it will be a bit easier next time. But then for younger people, for children, okay, I think contacting their parents will be great. Okay, so now we have been doing online learning for all the children as well, right? Okay, so parents play important roles. Okay, so you can remind them, okay, when the session is. You can inform them about the problems, about the achievements. They will be more than happy to communicate that with the children. Yeah. Okay, that's for the last touch points. Okay, so that's what we have. Turning the corner, so the practicality, simplicity, adaptability, capability, infrastructure. I think you can name it with different terms, okay? But I just try to sum them in this word, for example, yeah? Okay, this is one or two samples of what we do actually with the WhatsApp group. Okay, so we ask them to, let's say, send some stories, for example. If you can see here, like Pasir Putih Beach is one of the famous beaches on the Samosir Island. It is located around 1 kilometer. Well, sometimes we don't know whether they just Google and then copy paste everything, but we assume that they try to do their best. Okay, but yeah, we can see that, okay, this person is googling, and then after that we check, okay, okay, you have a very good one here, can you do another one? Okay, or how about this? Okay, from their answers we can tell that, oh yeah, they just copy paste the answers. Okay, and then talking about food, for example, so finally WhatsApp has been the most useful media to teach. Okay, uh, not by the Zoom, for example. Okay, because they don't get the internet connection all the time. Okay, and then okay, what do you have after this? Oh, okay. So this is one of the result, okay, of, yeah, after the program. Okay, I think I will play it for a while. Okay, well, we can see that this is not a perfect tour guide to be, but they are still learning, right? Okay, so no problem. They will go to the next level after this. Okay, let's see what do they have. Hmm.
To introduce ourselves, my name is Ines Hotang and my friend's name is
Isna Sinaga, Wendy Sihotang. We in here to describing a tourism place Bukit Holbung. So, ladies and gentlemen, you enjoy to watching this video. Okay guys, time to describing place. Enjoy! Before going to Bukit Holbung, we can also relax while enjoying snack, coffee, and other menus. And for friends who come here using motorbikes or car, don't worry that your vessel will be guarded safely. On top of this Bukit Holbung, we can enjoy the calm of the beautiful and very white Lake Toba and Pulau Samosir, which is in the middle of the lake. On this Bukit Holbung, you can also hold a camp with friends or family. Don't worry if friends do not have a tent for camping. Holbung Hill provides a tent rental place. I hope friends are interested in coming here. Thank you. Don't forget to visit here. Thank you. Bye.
Okay, so what do you think? Well, I know that's not perfect, right? But at least they learn something, and then you can see that okay, they have the what is that the confidence. Okay, well, we have to work more on that pronunciation, but fine. Okay, they can finish that in like say one session, right? Or even as one program. Okay, you just have to practice again and again. That's it. Okay, and then well, that's the end of my presentation. Okay, so thank you very much. Okay, and then after this, okay, uh, we will do question and answer sessions.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Ahmad Yudistira.
Mm-hmm.
So, how is it, all the participants? It's a very interesting topic to be discussed today. And then, yeah, for the Q&A session, I believe that everyone feel very, excited to ask a lot of questions to you, because I saw when you present, there's a few participant raise their hand, right? So now everyone can just, if you feel want to ask something, this is a Q&A session. You just unmute the mic and then straight away ask the question to Mr. Ahmad Yudistira. So anyone?
Yes, feel free to ask me. Okay, as long as it's still free, I don't charge anything yet. Well, we've got some prizes also, right, Hisham?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. Yes.
Since
Okay.
you talk about the quota, uh, and then we can give a free quota maybe.
Ah, cool then. Okay. Ah, so will I
but
get
let's
one
see.
also?
But but let's see who's gonna be the first one to ask, and maybe they can get a very very useful answer from Mr. Ahmad Yudistira. It's really interesting session, I guess. But then, yeah, as what you said, Mr. Yudistira, is really hard because it's like you are the only one who talk and then nobody answer.
Well, that's the risk of doing online teaching,
Yeah,
right?
but maybe Mr. Yudistira, you can pick, just randomly pick anyone who get to interact with you.
Anybody. I mean, I don't do the picking actually. Is that the problem is I have to give these prizes. Okay, I don't know how to give the
Yeah,
prizes. Okay, so I will give the prize for anybody who give me questions. No, okay, then everybody start giving me questions, not because they want to know, because they want to get the prize.
yeah, true.
but, but that's okay. That's okay. No problem, right? Okay.
Yeah.
Yes, anybody?
Anyone?
Okay, good. Okay, just call
Okay,
you
actually,
Ras.
I don't have questions, but
Mm-hmm.
I do have. I want to share my
Ah,
experience
yeah,
in
interesting.
online
Mm-hmm.
online class with my students.
Uh-huh.
So I'm basically using WhatsApp,
Okay.
just like what you did just now,
Mm-hmm.
because I find it easier to get feedback from them
Uh-huh.
instead of using Google Classroom or Schoology, because
Mm-hmm.
I think they can view the questions everywhere and then they
Mm-hmm.
can respond to it anytime.
Mm-hmm.
So I prefer using WhatsApp instead of other means of communication. So
Okay, great.
basically, that's what I've been doing this whole PDPR session.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So I don't know the rest of the participants whether they are using WhatsApp WhatsApp or any other means of communications, because I believe the easier or the simpler means of communications motivates them better instead
I
of using
agree.
the
Yeah.
hardest ones. Okay,
Yes, I agree.
that's
Okay.
all from me.
Wow. Thank you, Russ. Okay. Awesome then. Okay. Yes. Anybody would like to give share their experience as well?
Thank you, Miss Ras.
So it means that Russ will get our first
Yeah, of course, absolutely,
person. Ah,
absolutely. I
you
will
Russ
just
then.
put,
Okay.
yeah, we
Ah.
just contact the Ras Ahmad to give the. It's a gift from Mr. Ahmad Yudistira, I guess.
Okay.
Maybe quota for you or maybe your students.
Okay. That will be
All
great.
right,
Okay.
next. Anyone who like to ask? No need to raise their hands. I just open the mic, open the video, and then just start the talk. Anyone? Or maybe because of the raining season, they are getting, swayed away by
Yeah.
this kind
After
of
lunch is
atmosphere.
the
Maybe. Yeah.
hardest time to do a presentation. To be honest, actually,
Yeah.
they should do a lot of exercise and going not really going to the gym. Okay, but okay, I don't know,
Yeah.
like stretching. Okay, things like that.
Even though just now we saw a lot of people turning on their cameras, but you see now only three of us maybe.
But that's okay.
but
That's
but but
online learning, right? Okay, we
yeah.
don't know what happened. Okay, no problem.
But I'm sure that
Okay.
everyone can hear clearly, right?
Mhm.
Whatever.
Okay. I would like also to add another story, for example. Okay, Ras, you said that WhatsApp is the simplest one, for example, right? Okay. So in many of our groups, actually, okay, so we divide them into like these local regions. So in one WhatsApp group, we can have like 40 to 50 people. Okay. But after some time, okay, we see that only few people dominate the talk. The rest, okay, they don't feel confident to join the conversation. In that case, it will be better if we can even have like smaller group. So you divide this WhatsApp group into a smaller group again, okay, and then you assign them something to do, easy for them. Okay, if you know them well, okay, you can assign them on your own. But if you don't know them well, okay, you let them, let's say, create, let's say, a group of 4 or 5, for example. And then after that, we can monitor their activities in the WhatsApp group. Usually, they will be, let's say, more active. Okay, we will say that, oh, they will be more bunyi. Okay, they will be more yeah, active in the group, for example, because they don't feel intimidated. They feel that, oh yeah, these are all my close friends. I don't have any problem if I make any mistakes. Okay, so making a smaller group in WhatsApp, that's possible with that.
All right. So I see one question from Cek Nor Siti Salwa binti Cek Yusuf. Can I just read it through?
Yes, okay,
So the
please.
question is how you attract the attention of rural students in learning English. How you attract the
Mhm.
attention of rural students in learning English.
Okay, thank you then. Well, that's interesting. Okay, so far because it's the government program, so they registered because they know it's free. Okay, but if you are going to do it for free, okay, you have to inform them the benefit first. Okay, I think you have to go through 1 or 2 people in the rural area, and then you can talk with them. So what kind of English do you use in the area? Okay, how I can help you with English lessons in the area. Okay, I believe after that you will get some ideas, and then this person, these key people, okay, they will disseminate the ideas, and then they can have like smaller group, okay, at the beginning, and then bigger groups later on. Okay, but again, it's also difficult, I know, to motivate people to learn English because they know it takes time. Okay, but when we have the right goal, okay, so when you join these sessions only for like 5 sessions at the beginning, yeah, okay, and then you can do this and they can do that. Okay, let's see whether you can reach that. Okay, so do not let's say promise them like, oh, you will be fluent after this. Okay, fluent is a very long words, right? Okay, so just give simple goals, okay, in which they will use it directly. In my case, if it is the tour guide, then you can introduce your tour spot. Okay, and then you can let's say chit chat, or maybe for the what is that, for the people who owns the lodge, okay, this a small motel for example, you can at least ask how you can serve your guests for example. It will be very useful. So the key, I mean, I still have to go with, you can motivate them but give them what they really need, okay? Because when we talk about the owner of the lodge for example, oh, when the a tourist comes, okay, you should be able to greet them, okay, tell them the facilities, and then how much they pay, and then what do they expect, only that. If they have to talk about the politics or economics, no, the tourist lodge cannot do it. Only for basic communication facts, okay? At least they will feel confidence. Is that, and did that
All
answer the
right.
questions? Thank you very much then.
All right. Thank you so much, Mr. Ahmad Yudistira. I guess we have two winners for a giveaway.
Mhm.
It's Miss Ras Irma and then Nor City Salwa. So I guess that's all for today. It's a wrap for today. So on behalf of Sales 2020, we would like to say thank you so much, and we feel very very grateful to have you here to present such an interesting topic. As you know, now is we are in the middle of pandemic COVID-19, and then I think this is the most critical thing to do now. So on behalf of Sales 2020, thank you so much, Mr. Ahmad Yudistira, and then
Well, thank you for everybody then.
for all the guests here. So anything, don't hesitate to come to our website, Sales 2020. All right. So I guess that's all for today. Assalamualaikum and thank you so much. Have a nice